Morning, y'all. This is my second attempt at this video. The error with the sound was an operator error. I forgot to change the source from speakers to microphone. So now you should actually be hearing me. So since we have this lovely weather update that all AB Tech campuses are closed on Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to you from Snowpocalypse 2014. We will not be in class today, and you are getting my video lecture. I'm going to close this out because we don't need it for this. You should be seeing everything I do. What we're really going to focus on is what's going on right here in Moodle, and then in just a few minutes, what's going on at the library website. So, the first thing we're going to focus on, here we are in our Moodle course, and I'm going to scroll down to today's date, which is February 14th, and you're going to see, the snow day assignment, and I'm assuming those two unread posts there are about the fact that nobody can access the video or the sound on the video, because at first I had it set to private. I'm new. This is the very first video I've ever uploaded to YouTube. So what I want you to know is that you were supposed to read the research paper assignment guide and the service learning assignment guide and make a decision about which of those you're going to do. The research paper is scary for a lot of people, but I walk you through it in 5 steps, and I'm really good at supporting you through this process. So if you don't have the skills to write a research paper and you're looking to learn those skills, this is a good way to do it and a good class to learn those skills in. Lloyd Weinberg is coming to our class on Monday at 9:17 for my 9 o'clock class, 10:17 for my 10 o'clock class, and he will be pushing the service learning assignment on you. If you know how to write a research paper, you're good at it, you're sure you have that skill, or you're taking other classes that are research heavy, maybe you have English 111 this semester, or English 113 or 114, and you're doing a lot of research, then maybe, and you want to just step out in your community and serve your community, then this could be the kind of assignment that you'd rather do. So this is the kind of thing that you may want to choose, but Lloyd will be talking to you about that on Monday. So for now, just remember that this is that these are your choices, and this video is really about how to handle the research paper. At the end of this video, you'll hear again your assignment, although that's also underneath this forum. So I'm going to scroll a little farther down to February 24th when your proposal is due, and I'm going to click on research project proposal, and it's going to open up that actual assignment, and you'll see that every time something is due for your research project or your service learning proposal, something's going to be due for both assignments at the same time. So you're on the same schedule no matter which assignment you're doing, and you'll see the instructions here at the top for the research project and here at the bottom for the service learning project, and I've split it this way for both. For every assignment, it's split this way. You'll also see a link in every one of these to download the rubric for that particular assignment. There'll be a separate rubric for the research project and another one for the service learning project, because I'm looking for separate things in each of the assignments, just because you won't have APA or MLA citations in your service learning project, but you also won't have field notes in your research project. So I'm looking for different things. So download the rubrics for these and use them to help you understand what I'm looking for even better than what this explanation here gives you. This is also in the assignment guide for each of these. I copied and pasted the stuff from the assignment guide directly into here, so you should have everything you need in both places to tell you exactly what I'm looking for. So this is also where you come to submit that assignment. So I'm going to go back to our course, and I'm going to scroll back up to the top of the course, and I'm going to show you where we're going to go next, because this video is really about how do you do the research. And if you look right here in the top block of our course, you'll see a link to Soc 210 LibGuide, and I'm going to click on that link, and it's going to open a new tab, and this is going to take me to the library's website. And this is a LibGuide made by the Holly librarians for our class, so it's focused on where you can find information for this research paper. Alright, so here in the first, and I'm going to use these blue tabs at the top to navigate through this, and I'm going to show you which tabs you should focus on. Alright, and I'm going to show you first of all what's on the welcome tab. This is where we are when we first click here. So there are links to stuff in the library, there are links to stuff all over campus, a link to the library's homepage so that you can find their most current hours, their phone number is down here, and their Facebook page, which will have all kinds of information. On the right hand side, you'll see pictures of the librarians. This is Susan, who is supposed to be with us this morning but is not because we are snowed in or out of campus, really. This is Luann, and this is Lisa. So if you go to the library and ask for help with your research paper, one of these three lovely ladies will be the reference librarian that helps you with your research paper. If you need help during library hours, again, here's their phone number. You can call them. You can email them using this form, and I'm going to open it up and show it to you. It's the Ask a Librarian form. So I'm opening it in a new tab. You just fill this out, and they usually get back to you within about 15 minutes to half an hour. If campus is open and if they're not super busy at the library. If campus is closed or the library is closed, obviously it'll be the next time they're open. They get to you first thing when they open. So I'm going to close this back out. Remember that that's there. You can also use that form or email them or call them to set up what they call a research survivor appointment. If you set up one of these appointments and you go to it, then one of these ladies will be there to help you hold your hand through doing the research at that time. They will bend over backwards to help you. So set up one of these appointments if you're scared at all. One of the other cool functions that exists is if you work until 10 o'clock at night and you can't get started on this paper until, let's say, 11:30 when you get home and take a shower and finally get relaxed enough to do your homework, then you actually still have access to librarians from across the state who work online even in the middle of the night. So that's through something called NC Knows, and I'm going to click on this right now and it's going to open a chat window. Alright, so then all I have to do is type in this box. And then I'm going to get a message back from them that says hi, and they're typing, and there we go. So I have no idea where this particular librarian is, but they're going to be somewhere in the state of North Carolina. So I'm going to tell them thank you, and I'm going to close the window, and that's going to close our chat session. So they actually know exactly where you are and know who you are, believe it or not, when you click on that, or they find out during your chat usually. So when they find that out, and if they actually send an email to the Holly librarians and let them know that you've asked for help, and so the next day or the next day the library is open, you'll get a call or an email from the librarians in Holly asking if you had all your questions answered, and then they'll try to help you further in case you didn't get all your questions answered. So the library is a really great place for you to find all the help you need with this research paper, at least in doing the research part of it. When it comes to writing the paper, that's when you go to the basement of Holly into Holly 120. You find the people at the Writing Center, and you can find the link to that in your syllabus and on the assignment guide for the research paper, and use the instructions to make an appointment with them, or submit your paper online. And remember not to wait until the last minute, and you can't just walk in there. They're not a kind of walk-in service place. So the next thing I'm going to do is click on this Get Started Research Basics tab. And when I click on that tab, it's going to give me some help with narrowing my topic, how to brainstorm, and how to kind of make a tab with what would my keywords be to create search terms so that I can then put a search into the databases. Where I'm going to go now is to a different LibGuide. Alright, so it says right here in the top right, click for more help with your research. So I'm going to right click and open that in a new tab. Alright, so then this is the Research Skills LibGuide. It looks a lot like the other one, and the first page has the same information. And I'm going to click on Get Started Thinking. And here it's got a lot of stuff about how to select a topic. Choose a topic that you're interested in. Narrow your topic. Review the guidelines outlined in your assignment. Ask your instructor. Talk with your friends. Think about who, what, when, where, and why. Ask yourself these questions. If you get too many hits when you do your first search, here's how to narrow your search. How to develop a topic. Use these links over here to do this. These same links are over here, and they're for tutorials that will walk you through it. Down here at the bottom are links to databases you can use to find research topics. Now, I will say you cannot cite, and I cannot stress this enough, you cannot cite these databases in your research paper. You can, however, use them to narrow your topic or to explore things that may be of interest to you. Alright, so I'm going to look at points of view, and I'm going to look at it because it has a link to something you actually can use in your research paper. So I'm going to click on points of view, and it's going to ask me to log in because I'm off campus. So follow the instructions on that login screen when you see that pop up. Alright, it takes a minute for that to load usually. There we go. So when I get to this points of view reference center, this is going to have a lot of stuff written from newspaper articles and that kind of stuff, and here it's got stuff that's been in the news, and I need to be careful to make sure that I pick something sociological, something that's sociologically relevant, but I can pick these things at the top, or I can look down here at the bottom and browse by category, and there's so much stuff here that I can look at. And so I have all kinds of interesting things that can be interesting to me. So things about taxes, things that I may be interested in learning more about. So right now I'm going to pick something random that we're going to use for the rest of this video. Let's see. Let's look at big box retailers. That fascinates me. I'm really interested in sustainability and economics. So now here I've got this topic on what are big box retailers. I've got a whole lot of history, and it gives me a background to start. Maybe this will help me generate keyword searches. Again, you cannot search, you cannot cite this in your research paper, but you can use it to find information. Over here it's going to show me more stuff. This does not have what I need for my paper, so I'm going to choose a different topic because I'm not finding what we need and what I want you to see. So I'm going to actually, let's choose something else. Let's choose body image in the media. There's always something there. There we go. So you see here now we've got a different link at the bottom in this box, and this one's called academic journals. This is the kind of source you actually are required to look for this assignment, and the only type that I'm going to count as a source for your research papers. This is what you're looking for. And when I click on this, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm drinking coffee, so you might hear me like slurping my cup midway through a sentence or something. But when I click on academic journals, it's going to give me a list of things I can actually use. Look, 12 academic journal articles. And each of them are going to be something that I may or may not be able to use in my stuff. Because analysis of gambling behavior may not be an article. It may not be a journal that I think is related to sociology. But we can look at these, and any of these that say academic journal right here is totally fair for you to cite in your paper. Told y'all I have 2 dogs, right? Everybody's walking in our neighborhood and they're really excited about it. Okay, so I think they're over it. But you can see here that you've got two pages, 12 articles with stuff about body image in the media. This journal called Society is probably going to be sociological, so check out the journal titles right here to see if you're finding something that is sociological. something called Counterpunch. This is actually a journal that is academic, yes, but it's really a legal journal and an activist journal, so it may not have quite the sociological flair you're looking for, as would Feminist Teacher. Although Feminist Teacher is fascinating, and this article, Fat Studies, I can't even tell you how fascinating that particular article is. So some of you may be fascinated by the entire concept. So I'm going to close this out. Remember to use these. You can use any of these articles, right? But you're going to open up the PDF full text, and then I'll show you. You're going to cite this as if it was a printed article, okay? So you'll download the PDF. You will cite this as if it's a printed article. You will not cite this URL in the block here, okay? You are not actually citing the website where it's hosted. You are citing this article that's in the PDF. So you will find the information that you need to cite it.
That's enough.
Down here. Agatha Jane. Shh. Mommy's making a video lecture. Be quiet. Shh. Mommy's talking to her students in the computer. Shh, shh, shh. Okay, that's not going to work, y'all, but I tried. So remember that you're citing this as if it was a printed article. Alright? So now I'm going to close this out. And that's a place where you can, oh crap. Okay, we're going to go back to where we were. Okay, the research skills and tools, get started thinking. So remember these databases are here. Okay, and remember during this video you can pause, rewind, replay, take notes, whatever you need to do. You can control me, basically, and that's rare. Agatha Jane. Shh. Okay, so then I'm going to click on research tips at the top. And when it loads, it's going to give me help with Boolean operators, which when you look at these databases, they do not work like Google. Here is a 1 minute and 43-second video explaining this. Here is a 10-minute tutorial. And here are some tips and a chart explaining this. When I was a freshman at UNC Asheville, they made me take a 1-hour course for an entire semester called Library Research. And we spent, 3 weeks learning about Boolean search logic. You can learn it in about 15 minutes using this. This is very important for you to learn because it will change how you find information in these databases. So I suggest that you use this interactive tutorial that I'm hovering over right now from the University of Illinois at Chicago. I suggest that you watch this video. 1 minute and 43 seconds is not going to take a significant amount from your life, but it can teach you a lot about how to search inside these databases. So remember to learn a little bit about Boolean search logic so that you understand how to use this information. I'm going to click on the Searching for Information tab now. And then there's a 5-minute video that helps you understand the peer review process. I do recommend that if you don't understand what peer review means and why I'm requiring that you use peer-reviewed scholarly journal articles, that you watch this video to understand the process. There's some explanations of what primary and secondary sources are. There's some stuff about, there's some more database searching tips. Here, there's some lovely tutorials for generating search terms, how to use keywords, and how to use one good source to find more. So use these things to help you find more sources and help you identify sources. This is about why using books. We're not using books, so don't worry about it. I'm also going to click here on this last tab, which is useful websites. There's one about exploring a topic and developing a research plan. There's an idea generator. There's a lovely flowchart of the steps of library research. There's a whole thing on scholarly resources. I'm going to open that one up. It's going to take a second. So this is a guide for what peer-reviewed resources are, what it means, why they're different from everything else. And then you can click on articles, and it's going to explain all about how you know the difference between scholarly articles and popular articles. And so this is going to help you understand the difference and why I'm requiring the scholarly ones as opposed to the popular ones. And that really is about the peer review process. So there's also a link to the Writer's Handbook and a link to the UNC Writing Center's handout. So if you need help with that part of the writing process, there are some things you can use to help you there. Alright, so now I'm going to close out this LibGuide and go back to our Sociology 210 LibGuide, right? And we know we're there because we see it say Sociology 210 here. Now let's say we've finally chosen and narrowed our topic, and now we're trying to find these articles because Porscha said we had to list 2 in our proposal that we might read. We don't have to have read them yet, but we have to give her a citation for 2 we might read, mostly because I want to know that you've looked at this, that you've actually used these databases. So when I'm ready to find these, I'm going to ignore this books tab and I'm going to click directly on the articles tab, because I'm not looking for books. I'm also not looking for ebooks and media, and I'm not looking for websites. So this articles tab is my best friend, okay? There's more stuff about, oh look, your instructor requires you to use scholarly or peer-reviewed articles. Don't forget to check that box. What is a scholarly journal? What is the peer review process? How do you find full text? They have print journals in the library, so you can actually go to the library and read them in print. So you have those options. But right here in the center of this tab, remember we're still in this articles tab, right here in the center is a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 4, actually 5, because we've already looked at the Points of View Reference Center, and I've shown you where to find academic journal articles there. Here are 4 databases that you can use to find articles. You can also view all Holly Library Research databases, but these have been carefully chosen for you to use for sociology. So we're actually going to start, and I'm going to show you 3 of these. I'm only going to show you 3 because 2 of them look pretty much identical. So the first one I'm going to show you is Academic One File by Gale. Alright. Actually, I'm actually going to hit the back button. Okay. This is really bad. Okay, clicking on articles again. Y'all are watching me fail at interneting right now. So I'm actually going to right click and open it in a new tab, because that means, yeah. Anyway, so get this. You'll get that login screen again if you haven't done that the first time you click on one of these, okay? So one of the things I want to do is, before I even search for anything, I'm going to click these 2 boxes, one that says full text and one that says scholarly peer-reviewed journals. The full text box makes sure that any results that come back, I can actually download the full text of that article. That means it's not going to just show me that, oh look, this article was published and it's awesome, but you can't have it. It's only going to show you things you can actually access. This one is going to make sure that the only type of resource you get is the type that I require, and that's really awesome for you. Okay, so we're going to put in body image, and notice how I'm putting that in quotation marks. If you understand Boolean search logic and phrase searching, you'll get that. And I'm going to use and media. That was what we were looking at in points of view, so I'm going to stick with that. And I'm going to click search. Okay, so I found 261 results. That's a whole lot, okay? So I can also make sure, look, there are a couple book reviews in here. I don't want the book reviews. The book reviews are somebody going, I read this book and I want to tell you what I think about it. And that's awesome, but they're not going to help you at all with this research paper. So I'm going to just limit it to the academic journals. Still going to give me 255 results, so that's not really going to help me narrow my focus, okay? So I'm going to show you how to use this one to narrow. One of the things I can do is I can look at the subjects. Now, we're not interested in the psychological aspects at all. We're actually really interested in the social aspects, right? So I'm going to click on that, and that gives me 9 results. But here's one in Spanish. Unless I know Spanish and I'm willing to translate it for Porscha, who does not read Spanish that well, I haven't taken Spanish since 12th grade, then that's probably not a great option. But here's one that sounds fascinating. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Peer competition, television influences, and body image dissatisfaction. I know it has a lot of charts and tables, even a flow chart. Those are awesome. And I know it's an academic journal, and I know that I can access the PDF full text. Alright, so I'm going to click on this one because I like the idea of the way this one sounds. Okay, so I'm going to click on this link right here. And in this database, which is hosted by EBSCOhost, I get some really cool options. Alright, so here I can see the abstract and I can read all about it. You don't actually get to cite the abstract either. You have to download and read the entire article. I know I sound like a broken record. I'm going to say this a bunch of times. Remember this, okay? You can look at the images in it ahead of time if you want to, but you don't have to. This is actually from the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology. But because it's about the impact of television on body image in women, and competition among women, and the influence of television and body image dissatisfaction, it's in that social psychological realm, so it's still sociological. It's in that lovely space between psychology and sociology, and so it's still relevant to sociology. So I'm going to click right over here on this email link. Alright, this is going to be very important to you, so remember that it exists. Email. Okay? And I'm going to email it to myself. Y'all all know my email address, so does my computer. Ooh, that's not good. I have to show you how to do this. Okay. So, oh my goodness. You see me failing at the internet again? There, we select it. I'm going to put a subject line in, otherwise it'll probably go to my spam folder. So put something like article for research paper, sociology. I can make comments if I want to. Always check this box to tell it to send the PDF as a separate attachment. That way you get this document in PDF form attached to the email. Then you're going to change this to citation format and you get choices. APA, MLA. Both of the formats that you're allowed to use for this class are there. I usually use APA when I'm writing, but I allow you to use MLA too. I spent 18 months as a writing tutor and know both of these styles very well and feel comfortable with both of them. So you use whichever one you feel comfortable with. I'm just going to choose APA because that's what I'm comfortable with when I'm writing. So then I'm going to click send. And what I'm going to get is an email. And in the body of that email, I'm going to get, in the body of the email is going to be the APA style citation for the article. So I can copy and paste that into my bibliography. And attached to that email is going to be the PDF of this article. So then I have it, and I can do this for any articles that I want from this database. So that's how I use this database. Now, the combined search, academic search, complete, and health databases is great if you're doing something with healthcare. It looks exactly like this database. It just has a little more stuff dealing with healthcare. So we're not going to look at that one. We're going to look at, the next one we're going to look at is Academic One File by Gale. And I'm going to open that in a new tab and go over to that tab. And this one has the same options, it just has a slightly different interface. It even has some of the stuff that's trending. And they're trying to look a little more like social media. So here we have these options: limit it to documents with full text, limit it to peer-reviewed publications. Alright, we don't have to limit to documents with images because that doesn't matter. And again, I'm going to put in my keywords: body image and media. Alright, and it's going to do this stuff. Okay, you can use this to help you if you want to. The search assist, you can choose something like, let's do body image and self-esteem. That's not really going to help us because it seems less sociological. So I really want to focus on body image and media. So I'm actually going to turn search assist off, and then I'm going to click on the magnifying glass. And it's going to give me 128 academic journal results for my basic search. Alright. And I also can limit it to document types. I want just the articles. Just the articles. So that's going to get me down to 54. Okay. So then I have stuff, I can also limit it in other ways. Alright. I can limit it to certain article titles. I can limit it to body image, to teenage girls, to eating disorders, to youth and obesity. I can view more. To mass media, to women, to body weight. All of these things. Okay. These are ways that I can limit it. I can limit it by what publication it's in. I can also say I want to set a custom date range, and I only want things from 2000 to 2014, right? So then I'm going to click search again, and now I'm down to 42 results. Alright, so remember that you can do this, and I'm going to say that if I go to advanced search, we'll go back here because there is something else you can do that will help you not get things in foreign languages for those of you who don't read foreign languages. For those of you who do, if you can translate what those things mean into English for me, I'm happy for you to use them. When I go to advanced search, to documents with full text, to peer-reviewed publications, body image, media, I can also use mass media. That may limit things. Limit results this way. Usually you can exclude things, so I don't want abstracts, I don't want any of these. Oh, wait a second. We want to make sure that we just get articles, so we're just going to select article and then click search. So I can always limit the results here before I get there, and again I get 10 results. And I may or may not like those. Here's one about media literacy as an educational method for addressing college women's body image issues, and that may be interesting to me. So I'm going to click on it and look at it and see, oh look, it's about body image, mass media, eating disorders, and women's college success. So I'm going to say, oh, that's interesting, right? And so I'm going to, it's in a journal called Education, so it's totally one that's relevant to sociology. Here's the full text of the article. I can read it here. That's not going to help me cite page numbers though, so again I'm going to go to this email link. Alright, you can even download an MP3 and listen to it, y'all. It's kind of fascinating, but I'm going to use the email link because I want to be able to read it, and I'm going to make myself the sender on this one because that means it will not go to my junk folder. It already has a subject line with the title of the article. I want it to send the item as an attachment. I want it to have the PDF attachment, and then I can choose again MLA 7th edition or APA 6th edition, and then I can send. And I'm going to get that email with the attached document and the citation inside the email. Alright, so that's how Academic One file looks. The last database I'm going to show you is JSTOR, and it's my favorite. JSTOR only has peer-reviewed journals in it. You can see its format. It's sorry, I'm failing at interneting again. Right click, open a new tab. Okay, so its interface is pretty. Red boots and snow. So fitting for today. It's actually always looks like this. It looked like this in August. But JSTOR has thousands of titles, hundreds of thousands of titles, and when they have a journal, they stock every single issue of that journal from the beginning of time. So when I go to JSTOR, I actually want to click on advanced search every single time, because otherwise I just get this search box. So I'm always going to click on advanced search when I go there. And so then again, my keywords: body image, and mass media. There we go. It includes only content I can access. I don't want it to include links to external content because that's stuff that I may not be able to access. I want to limit it to articles. I don't want books, pamphlets, reviews, or whatever miscellaneous means, and I want to limit it for myself to English. The other thing I can do is limit it to only certain disciplines, and I'm going to limit it to sociology because that's an option, but you may find that urban studies is perfect for you, or do not choose psychology. You'll get a lot of clinical psych stuff, but you may find that something like for what we're doing, feminist and women's studies may be perfect, or even education may be perfect for what we're looking at. Alright, and I come back up here and just click the search button. And you don't have to limit it by discipline, but if you limit it to sociology, then you're going to get only sociologically relevant stuff, so it's a cool option. And I only get 24 search results when I do that, but it means that everything that I'm getting is going to be really, really relevant to what I'm doing. Alright, so this one's interesting. It's from January of 2004 from the Journal of Black Studies, and it's African American men's perceptions of body figure attractiveness. It's fascinating to me. Absolutely sounds fascinating to me. It also has this classic study from 1999, Social Comparisons, Reflected Appraisals in Mass Media, the Impact of Pervasive Beauty Images on Black and White Girls' Self-Concepts. This is a classic study where they compare the differences in how images in media affect white girls' self-esteem versus black girls' self-esteem. And this is absolutely a fascinating article. And one of the things you'll find in JSTOR versus the others is that you'll find these classic sociological pieces that you won't find in the others. And with sociology, you don't necessarily have to find things that are from last year. Things in sociology, in society even, don't change as fast as they do in areas like biochemistry and neurobiology and neuroscience. Society changes much more slowly. So things from 1998 are not outdated. This is from 1998, and it's about, I mean, this could be a fascinating article. I have no idea. But here's one from 2008, Feminist Consumerism and Fat Activists. That actually sounds real. The Dove Real Beauty campaign. I'm actually fascinated by this one. So we're going to choose this one. All right. And we're going to look at it. It's from a journal called Signs, which is a really great one for having really readable and accessible text. And when I look at this one, the thing about, well, I can look at the actual full text, or I can choose to look at a summary. The thing about JSTOR is that you can't email this stuff to yourself and get the full text of the article. So with JSTOR, you have to click on View PDF and then download it. And always just accept JSTOR's conditions. It's not a problem. And then you can open the PDF and then save it as something that you'll remember. So then here is everything I need for citing it. I have to put that in myself. Here's JSTOR's policies. It always comes with this cover page so that I can just kind of have all my information here. I don't have to search for it inside the image. And then I have my article to read. All right. So I can still, I mean, I'm looking at it just like it was when it was in print. So again, I'm still citing these as if they were print journal articles, even though I access them from the web. So this is something you can do. Another thing you can say, oh look, 2 items are citing this item, so let's click on those. And these things are using this as their citation in their paper. So maybe they would be really cool. These 2 are things that cite this article, so maybe they would be great for my paper too. Maybe I'm really interested in Dove's Real Beauty campaign, so here's another thing that I can access that's about Dove's Real Beauty campaign. So it's going to, they're going to coordinate with each other, and that's a way to use one source to find another. Apparently we don't have access to that particular thing, although I can use that to search in other databases to see if we do have access for it. And I think we do have access to that particular journal through other databases. So use JSTOR because it's full of all kinds of stuff. If you're doing anything related to historical stuff, you're going to find tons of stuff. It has journals going back to the 1800s, publications going back that far. So if you're interested in anything historical, this is your place to look. All right, so that tells you pretty much everything you need to know about finding articles. The last thing you need to see is this Evaluate and Cite tab. I am the plagiarism Nazi, okay? I will Google every sentence of your paper if I even get one hint from your stuff that you have plagiarized, and I'm really, really, really good at telling whether or not you have done it. Please don't doubt me. Please don't test me. This is me being mean right now. This is me being that professor. Okay, please do not test me on this one. You will get a 0 on this assignment, and you will get disciplinary action. I don't play around with plagiarism. Write your own paper. This is very important to me. And it's very important to you that you actually are a person with integrity. If you need to use your 48-hour extension to make sure you write your own paper, if you need to turn it in late and take a 25% deduction, trust me, it's better than getting a 0 and disciplinary action. So please do not test me on this one. Write your own freaking paper. I will be much more impressed with what you write from your perspective, from your research, than what you can copy and paste into a document or from what you can download from the internet. All right. So there are a couple things here to help you learn how to cite. If you were ever in doubt, cite more instead of citing less. Always cite more. All right. You can always use this thing called Noodlebib to help you create your citations and learn how to use them. You have to sign up for an account. Play with that if you want to. There's this lovely Prezi that shows you all about what plagiarism is, and you can watch that and learn more about it. And this is about how to evaluate everything. All right, so if you're not sure when you're plagiarizing, check with me, check with a librarian, check with the writing center, check with somebody. All right. Don't forget the Purdue Online Writing Lab, which is awesome. If I click here, it's going to give me all kinds of stuff about it has an MLA guide and an APA guide, how to find everything, and it has some vidcasts about how to do it, some general writing information. It has some stuff even about punctuation and grammar, things that will help you with this process. So use that if you need it. All right, I love you all. I hope this video is sufficient to help you get started on your papers, and I will see your smiling faces on Monday morning. Bye bye.